perform well in game 3. It looks like draft has begun, so let's head on over, gentlemen. Birds Aren't Real have the first ban here. Let's take a look, see what they're gonna ban away here. See if they'll ban away that Volibear. Still sticking with the Vladimir as their first ban.
Yeah, similar bans so far. Both games have seen the Vlad Cassiopeia as first ban, not change anything. I'd be rather surprised if there wasn't a Morgana ban this time on JBB, so Birds Aren't Real can first pick it like they did in game one. But for Birds Aren't Real, I'd be hoping for a set or a Volibear ban because it seems rather obvious from last game. Um, JBB can absolutely win through their top side, and Birds Aren't Real seems to struggle quite a bit when playing from behind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Joe's Big Biceps absolutely can play through their top side. And honestly, I think it's almost preferred at this point that they do so. So, I mean, I'm not too sure what his shampoo's like, but we might see some Jace action going on. NA Jace coming in, final game of the series. But Leona actually being picked up by Birds Aren't Real this time. And I'm sure that's to take it away from Bahutot. I'd like to see what Joe's Big Biceps are going to respond with, because that has been a pretty big pick for them. So curious
Yeah,
to how this draft will play out.
I was gonna say I don't like Leona first pick as a general thumb, but I don't hate it in this case because Hunter has played that for both games, and he just in general loves the champion. So taking it away from him isn't a poor move. I don't think. As Volibear gets picked up by JBB, I think that's a fantastic first pick. Um, we saw the early game dominance that jungle, but he of course can be flexed to the top lane as well, and it doesn't look like he's going to, as JBB do just pick all of their set for that strong side top lane.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out last game. No real reason to change it, and pretty good 1-2 punch on the side of JBB. They can definitely look to build their comp around this top side, I think. But Kindred coming in for Birds Aren't Real, pretty curious, as it could potentially be in a solo lane, actually.
That is true.
I think if they wanted to flex it, they very well could. I think it'd be a smart idea to flex it, simply because at the moment seems pretty weak. I think Set can just ult Kindred out, or ult the target out. Really, it doesn't have to be Kindred. It could be anybody that she's trying to save, and it's done for. But Silas coming out for Birds Aren't Real, I think that's actually pretty good so far. Volibear ult as well as Set ult is going to be pretty huge. Varus looking like it's going to be picked up again on the side of JBB. Looks like they're going to want to run it back this time, but no Leona. So we'll have to see what they try to pair Varus with.
Yeah, same pick. I do want to mention picking Kindred seems a little bit odd into set, of course, because you do have the interaction of set just suplexing them out of the Kindred ultimate. A little bit of a counter pick yourself. It'd be similar to picking Kindred into Gragas, although obviously not as bad. As the bans come out, Yo and Tristana from JBB and Birds Aren't Real actually taking out the Rise. I guess a lot of the champions of what they would have preferred to ban, like the set Volibear, theirs were picked first. But I'm expecting JVB to pick their support here and save the last counter pick for the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely smart. I think Silas can still go top lane and Kindred can still go mid lane if they should choose to. And just leaving mid last, I think having that mid presence early on is definitely important for JBB's game plan if they want to replicate the results of that. I'm not a fan of that Victor, to be honest, but we'll have to see how they round it out. It could very well be good, but so far I'm not really a big fan of it. He is a power pick, though. I will give him that. I mean, Victor's strong no matter what, but
Saving counterpick for support seems a little bit weird, as they did already see the Leona. I guess just wanting to pick Victor because the assumption is that Silas is going mid, but it is going to be the Oriana. So looking like it's going to be a Silas top lane is the answer
Yeah.
to set. That's pretty interesting. That I can't say I'm all that experienced with this matchup, but that seems like it would be heavily set favored once again. Like you'd have a very strong top side from JBB. So I guess Bar kind of letting them have it. And Jin is the last pick for the side of Birds Aren't Real.
Interesting. I'm gonna wait for this last pick here to comment about anything. I think this is actually going to be the most important support pick of the series.
It is really
Yeah,
interesting to leave support to the last pick. Yeah, that's not very common.
it's I wouldn't expect it in either for either of these teams as it's been so top lane focused. But it is Maokai support up against the Jin Leona, so much more of a poke centered game plan by JBB with the because there is such good people. It's going to be on JBB to establish to get to objectives early and make sure that they have the range with the Maokai, with the Victor, with the Varus to poke them out enough so that when they do take the 5v5, they're able to do it. More pretty similar team comp to last game for the side of JVB, but I gotta say I like this comp quite a bit more just because it does have the extra range with the Victor and the Maokai.
Yeah, not to mention Maokai's ability to just zone off entire brushes from Birds Aren't Real, especially around the objectives like Baron and Dragon. I think that the amount of control that JBB have over the jungle is going to be huge with the Victor Zone. I think that Birds Aren't Real are going to find they're going to have a lot of trouble actually contesting objectives, but if they manage to get a setup early, they definitely have tools of their own. Leona, Jin, pretty strong pick potential there. Silas able to steal a bunch of ults as well and try to counter. And I kind of don't like Kindred into JBB. I mean, not even because of set, but because of the Victor Varus. They can just poke down allies. And I mean, in my opinion, Kindred is really good into more DPS centric, more bursty teams. But poke, you could just poke them down, and they basically just start with a disadvantage. I don't know. We'll have to
Well,
see.
before we get to I want to get to predictions as well, but uh, what are the win conditions here? We talked about in the last game, you know, Bar not playing to their win condition. What are the team's win conditions in this game?
I would say for JVB, the big thing is going to be setting up a good amount of map control so they can get to locations first. I think the Maokai can be super powerful, especially when you're playing with something like a Victor or a Varus that can poke from long range from Fog of War. I think that if JVB can get to objectives quickly, they can set up first and they can um, almost build an impenetrable penetrable wall that Bar can't really invade on. I think JBB has a really good chance of winning.
Yeah, and for the side of Birds Aren't Real, I think what they're gonna want to do is try to play to the side lanes more in the mid game. Kindred and Jin are really good at picking out targets. Kindred especially when she's flanking someone and she gets that 3-hit proc off, they're slowed for quite a bit. So if they're caught in a side lane, you're almost guaranteed to be dead. So I think they're gonna try to get a pick off in the side lane and then try to pressure objectives that way with the 4v5. But I don't think Birds Aren't Real are gonna want to fight a real 5v5 into JBB's comp, especially not into no vision, like around the jungle area or in certain pockets around the blue buff on Dragon. I think that Bar are really gonna want to play well and not get too greedy for fights and try to get picks off when they can.
All right. Well, we are going to go to our break very quickly, but I want to get to predictions real quick here, guys. Keep in mind, the viewers as well, that Bar has not lost a best of three match the entire season. They have lost individual games, but they have not lost a full best of three. Do you guys think that JBB could win this and take down the Giants?
Honestly, oh, you can go for it, okay?
Nah, you first, sir.
Oh, so amicable
Thank
now.
you.
So
Uh,
amicable.
I do think my money's actually going to be on JBB this game. I think that if they did what they did last game and they have such a strong upside, Silas is absolutely one of the champions, which is not going to do anything when he's behind. I think that if JBB can get a early lead with their incredibly strong top side, I think they can convert it to a win. And so with that, but if that doesn't said, if this game gets to this 10-minute mark and JBB doesn't have a lead, my money's on Bar, but overall, JBB.
All right. Okay.
Welcome to the dark side, brother. I'm picking JBB. I think that Joe's Big Biceps have a pretty good comp setup for themselves. I think throughout the Manitoba Esports League, or the CECS now as it's called, I think that playing around Dragon and getting team fight setups around Dragon has been the meta for all of its iterations, and I think that Joe's Big Biceps comp allows them to get really nice setups and just able to zone off Birds Aren't Real from the choke points that allow them to get even into the Dragon Pit. So for me, I think that just through team comps, I think Joe's Big Biceps have set themselves up quite nicely to pull off the upset here, and I think that they can take it home.
All right. The analysts agree. It's so nice to see you guys agree again. You
It
agree,
makes me sick.
yeah. All right. We're supposed to go to a break super fast, and we've been talking for too long. So let's go to the competitive integrity break. Don't go anywhere for game 3 of Birds Aren't Real versus Joe's Big Biceps.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I wanted to play Silver Scrapes real bad, and then I sort of didn't plan it out properly, and so I didn't know where we were in the song. I hope I didn't fade out at too much of a terrible spot, but I probably did, so whatever. Too bad. That's what you get. And we are into game 3 of the semifinals, the second semifinal here. Birds Aren't Real up against Joe's Big Biceps. Now, we knew that Birds Aren't Real were favored in this game. We knew that they had a huge chance here. We knew that Joe's Big Biceps were the underdogs in this game, but they have pushed them to the brink so far, and with this Kindred jungle coming in, and with this totally different comp setup from Birds Aren't Real, this is the final game. This is what it comes down to.
Yep, this is the series-deciding game that we have on our hands here. Zohair, he is on the Kindred, a pick that is very feast or famine, if I say so myself. This pick, it feels so strong when you're ahead. When you get stacking these marks, it is unstoppable. But then, if you get behind, you are useless. You are pretty much a ranged caster minion if you get too far behind. So this Zohair is definitely what we're going to keep our eyes on, where the marks are spawning, how is she going to get these marks is going to be very, very important. I'm gendering by the champion, not by the player. I have no clue what gender Zohair is.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing that is going to be absolutely crucial, of course, to those early marks is going to be mid-prio. And Arch and the Birdmang, again on this LCK Resident Sleeper Orianna Victor matchup, it is a pretty even early pressure matchup. So we'll have to see who executes better and manages to get priority for Zohair, for their jungler to get those early marks.
Yeah, exactly true. So we will see as I switch these champions around. My mistake there again. We will see exactly who is able to take this one. And yeah, if, Kid Kirito can once again put enough pressure on the lanes to shut down a farming jungler, just like he did last game, but sort of failed to do the previous game. Kid Kirito did a great job in terms of, in terms of ganking in the first game, but Zohair was just completely styled on him. Now Kingsland's gonna go in early. Flashes, forces the flash from GG denied. There is Bahu Utot also taking a bunch of damage there. And there goes Zohair! He gets the kill! How did he burst him down from that much HP? Zohair opening up on this Kindred, and we thought that Kid Kirito would be the one to go with the ganks, but it's Zohair on the Kindred who gets first blood.
Absolutely beautiful gank there. To answer your question, that's Kindred E, baby. It does so much damage, especially with that 3-hit, not only from the E, but as well as from the Mastery, the press, the attack. The damage burst there from the E is very, very big. You see that GG Denied didn't even use the heal. Bahuto still holding his flash as well.
Yeah.
As Species here, he might be in a little danger as Kid Kirito is waiting in this bush.
Pieces if he wants to keep going in on this, and he does, goes forward, but you don't want to give Sacknut these kills. If Kirito's going to flash in for the stun, this might be a bridge too far here as Reese's Pieces does have the damage coming back. Kid Kirito has to walk away with pretty low HP. That was well played by Reese's Pieces, and a bit of a questionable flash there from the Volley Bear.
Yeah, a bit of hesitation there from Sacknut and Kid Kirito. The execution was good, but really once you get that flash, I think you just walk away there. But nonetheless, I mean, it's an okay gank. It's a little... Oh, the repeater's gank is coming in.
Like you said, the repeat gank. Reese's Pieces now with no flash available. Doesn't have the heal either, and Sacknut gets another kill in the top lane. Reese's Pieces has struggled these past 2 games, and that set is so good for Sacknut with Kid Kirito really focusing that lane.
Super well played there from Kid Kirito. You realize that Reese's Pieces isn't really respecting, he's not really respecting the fact that Volibear can just sit in that bush and wait. And that's exactly what Kid Kirito does. So super well played there. He punishes the flashless Silas. As we see now, is Zohair actually going to get this mark because he saw Kid Kirito up in that top side. How many marks does Zohair have right now? He has 2 already. And that is a really good start for this Kindred. 2 marks is already like pretty decent. I believe you get a bonus already at 2 marks, if I am not mistaken. Let's get Kirito here. He's again in the top side, just setting up a little bit of a tent here.
Went straight back to those Krugs, but now not going to be able to get anything else. Reese's Pieces playing a little bit more safe, knowing that he definitely is a focus, like you say, knowing that there might be a little bit of a campfire up there. And so Kid Kirito has to recall once again and picks up those Merc Treads, going back down to the bot lane where the dragon is spawned. That's an ocean dragon to start us off. Sacknut already a level ahead here and well ahead in CS. Also, Reese's Pieces wants to go in. What are you doing, my friend? Not going to... Oh, just not going to die there. The minions almost finish him off, but yeah, I think he just missed that spell there, and Reese's Pieces not going to be enjoying this lane at all. Still level 5 against a level 6 Sacknut. Here's Kingsland flashing in, though. No Cap does manage to get the damage down. GG denied, almost dead, and he does go down. Kingsland takes him out with the Aftershock. Now they're focused onto Bahutot, who has no flash available. Not going to be able to get anything, but that's a great kill. The bot lane of Birds Aren't Real has looked a little quiet this series, and now in the final game, they open up.
Yeah, pretty well played there from Kingsland. They could have played it just a little bit better if Kingsland waited for the 4th shot from No Cap holding Gap. He would have 100% been able to claim that kill as well. But no problem, it's still a very good play, and I like the fact that they put a Kingsland on Leona this game because it has that kind of lane-winning all-in potential, right? That Leona, very easy to make plays with. So great play there from Kingsland, and a good answer from Bar to put themselves a bit of ahead in this game, now boasting a bit of a gold lead as well as the first dragon of the game, which is an Ocean Drake, which is really, really good in those early laning phases with that trading. Hopefully gonna help out Reese's Pieces equalize a bit of that regen, as we see Kid Kirito going for a bit of an invade, and he's still in that top side, just absolutely setting camp top.
Yeah, Reese's Pieces is going to be definitely struggling up here. Very, very frustrating to get focused like this, but if Kingsland and No Cap can continue to take advantage of it, that's going to be worth it. Toad already taking a bunch of damage. Their flash is still available on the Maokai, but will he even be able to get it? So Hare flashes in and gets him. GG denied, now going to be taken down by the Varus, or by the Jhin ult if he's not careful, and that isn't going to take GG denied, but the flashes for both bot laners blown, and it is Bahutot going down. Kingsland and No Cap have decided to take matters into their own hands this game. And they are definitely dominating in that lane. 2-0-0 for the Kindred as well. Very, very dangerous here.
Absolutely. Zohair here. He is redeeming himself, a bit of an anime redemption arc after that pretty awful game 2 on this Kindred. And, you know, as we said, Kindred feast or famine, and right now she is eating for sure. She is eating well, as a matter of fact. If Sacknut and Reese's Pieces are going at it.
Yeah, Mike gets done. There is the ultimate steal, but Sacknut still finds the kill. And that suplex steal, not quite enough to win the 1v1 from Reese's Pieces. You can see, definitely, Reese's Pieces all through this series has been wanting to outskill his opponent, wanting to pick those high skill cap champions, the Aurelia, the Riven, the Silas. Going to be trying to get those. Sacknut, though, taking a bunch of damage and just gets shut down. So Hair just walks up and gets the kill, and Sacknut stays a bridge too far, getting a little overconfident now with a couple of kills on that set.
Okay, a lot of things to comment on. I mean, first, Reese's Pieces, I feel like, no offense, but I feel like his ego is a bit hurt. He seems to be skill checking Sacknut constantly, even though, I mean, it's pretty obvious that you don't win at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're playing in a losing early game matchup, and Sacknut is already a kill ahead of you, and he has so, like, look at that CS advantage. It's just disgusting. Sacknut even disrespecting so far as to go tabbies into an AP matchup. I honestly don't think that's a good choice, by the way. This is definitely a Merc Treads game. But nonetheless, Kid Kirito here actually taking down the red buff.
Yeah, it does get the red buff, but will he be able to survive it? No,
Nope.
Zohair gets the kill. Another mark for the Kindred, and that is once again Zohair with huge kill participation, huge carry potential on this Kindred. It does not look good for JBB in this game.
Yeah, and with that mark on that Gromp, this most likely means 4 marks. And 4 marks is when Kindred that gets that extra range. And that extra range is scary. It is so scary because now running away from Kindred is impossible. Like, if Kindred has a red buff, it is so difficult to get away, as we might see a gank here. No, it looks like, okay, the Pikmin will spot them out in the brush. But again, I mean, I have to question some of the decisions that both of these teams are making now. Seems like coins are being flipped, and for now, it is flipping in the favor of Birds Aren't Real for sure.
Yeah, the shockwave went down there from Arch, getting Birdmang out of lane. Now the gank comes in from Kid Kirito, taking advantage of this engage, and once again, it's Kingsland having to wait back and sacrifice his own life to save his ADC. They just want to keep going in, and this time, finally, Kid Kirito had left the top lane long enough to respond. Still, Reese's Pieces struggling in this lane against that set, who's once again heading towards that stride breaker, most likely anyway. And yeah, Kid Kirito with a good kill there. 25 seconds to the Dragon, so it's still going to be available for a contest, as you can see Kindred heading down there right now. And still, Birds Aren't Real are well and truly in control of this early game.
Yeah, and look at this Kindred, man. 4 stacks, as well as the Kraken Slayer and the Berserker's Greaves completed.
Yeah.
That is one scary Kindred, man. I love this champion. I think the design of this champion is really cool, and the gameplay, when you play it, feels incredible. But when you play against it and Kindred is this fed, it feels impossible. It is so hard to do anything about a Kindred that is so fed. We will have to see what they can do. I mean, they have the tools to lock her down, as we talked about, right? The Supplex, as well as the Verisalt, and all of that good crowd control. So there definitely is a way for Joe's Big Biceps to just deny all of that gold that she has through chain CC. But crucially, they have to chain CC her.
There we go. We'll see if they can do it in this fight. The ultimate goes down. Kid Kirito is standing in there as well as Zohair. Teleport comes in. Zohair gets out, gets a kill, but gets traded out. And that, you gotta imagine, that benefits JBB. Now the fight comes on, but the Birdmang's caught out alone. Reese's Pieces finally gets on the board, going away from the 2 ultimates there, and they do manage to escape. It's a 7-4, and it's a 2-for-1 fight. Reese's Pieces wants to go back in. Sacknut still pretty strong. Huge shockwave gets both. Sacknut gets a huge shield from that, though. Look at the low mana on the side of the Birds Aren't Real players. Arch takes out Sacknut. There just isn't a lot of damage left. GG Denied does get one on the end. Bahu Toad having to flash away, and Birds Aren't Real take the fight, and they're going to take the Dragon as well.
Wow, what a team fight. It extends into the 4v3. And honestly, I can't blame Joe's Big Biceps for taking it. It looked decent, but to Birdman, again, mispositioning super heavily with the flash up as well, I believe, as the directed camera for some reason. Oh, never mind. That's my bad.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Pieces wanted to go on to Kid Corito here, but didn't quite manage to get anything else. Wants to go back in, though, and Kid Corito is not long for this world. Reese's Pieces finding those kills he was looking for in lane. He's finding them in team fights instead, and that's exactly the type of things you have to be going for with the Fed Kindred. Now Kingsland going in on the attack. Isn't quite enough follow-up, but Kingsland's like, no, go in on this, man. I got it. Arch not quite trusting his support in that situation. So Hare going on and not giving me a break as he's going to take down GG Denied, and that is Birds Aren't Real going from bad to worse in their domination, their diabolical control of Summoner's Rift here. 11-5 and a 3K gold lead.
Damage is disgusting. Kindred does so much damage. And honestly, I was going to say that the damage from Kindred is disgusting, but honestly, the damage from Leona is equally disgusting. Kingsland almost, pretty much soloed, was it the Birdmang? I think it was the Birdmang.
Yeah.
The Leona, by the way, super good champion. They nerfed her damage on her W by 10 on all ranks for some reason.
Yeah.
A bit of a band-aid nerf in my opinion, but do with that what you was. Reese's Pieces here, you find Sack Nut.
Yeah, gonna dodge away, and if Reese's Pieces to hit that, you can see he still wants to go back in. Reese's Pieces, like you said, wanting to skill check Sacknut over and over again. These two top laners definitely taking a page out of the Dinsbag playbook a little bit here, fighting every time they have the opportunity. Now ganking coming in, and it is Kingsland who's headed over here first. This set's still pretty tanky, though. Hasn't completed the Gore Drinker, but still very capable of a 1v2 in the right situation. And as we see the grouping up towards the bot river as well, there isn't a lot on the map to take. Reese's Pieces now goes in for the fight. Kingsland goes in, tries to predict. Sacknut going to use the suplex, goes over. There is Reese's Pieces just missing, but will they have enough damage? Kid Corito has shown up, isn't in time. Oh, the Sacknut is almost dead. He does finally go down. Looks like Kingsland will be traded. Reese's Pieces now, probably not enough damage to complete that kill on Kid Corito. Both teams sort of approaching this area now, and it might be a huge brawl. And this is just a bait because Zohair is on the way. Kid Corito taking a bunch of damage after the ultimate goes down. There's Varus locking down Reese's Pieces, but look how much he's healing. There's Zohair with the damage. Zohair coming in to finish them off. Arch finding the second kill, 14-6 on the kill board, and Birds Aren't Real are running away with this one.
Beautifully played there from Birds Aren't Real. They realized that while GG Denied and Bad Tote are coming to collapse, that they're actually the ones in the strong position with the teleport as well as the collapsing Zohair coming in right behind them. The Wolf claiming lives as well as the Lamb all over the Rift. Really well played there. It was kind of funny there. GG Denied using the Proudly's Claw almost effectively to get out. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately not working out. And I want to mention, because I feel like I have to, if Sacknut had Merc Treads there, I'm pretty sure he wins 1v2. But unfortunately, yeah, the choice of boots is wrong as Reese's Pieces here. He found the Birdmang.
Going in on the Birdmang, looking for that solo kill, and there you go. He says to Birdmang, you're not real. Takes him down in the solo play.
That was a beautiful solo bolo there from Reese's Pieces. Very well played. Finally getting the skill check that he wanted. It might not have been on Sacknut, but still, you know, it's a solo bolo regardless. I have to say that the Birdmang has been definitely underperforming a bit and has not been finding really a lot of utility on this Victor at all, and he doesn't have that first item yet. That is just tragic, as pretty much everyone besides Sacknut has their first item completed. As we see now that we have a bit of a lane swap going on, the bot lane from Birds Aren't Real situated in that top side, but it looks like GG Denied and Kid Corito might be looking for something. The Drake spawning in 50 seconds though, so you have to imagine that both teams really want to contest this. And tragically, I have to mention this as well, this is an Infernal Soul, and this makes Maokai support really sad. There are no bushes left for those Pikmins to do the job that they're supposed to do, and it is just a bad time. I mean, he is playing the tank Maokai, so it isn't impacted as heavily, but still, it's it's honestly one of the conditions for Maokai support to work is having either the ocean or the mountain maps, which are a lot better for those Pikmins, and definitely not the Infernal. But regardless, it looks like both teams will be posturing for this dragon. Reese's Pieces, of course, going down up in that top lane because he has that teleport. So most likely going to be able to claim this turret before the fight even starts.
Yeah, probably going to be able to do that. And, oh no, Zohair is just so dangerous right now. And they see what the Jhin ultimate is able to accomplish. Not much there, just getting them to back off. And like you said, the Herald's going to be spawned. Turret goes down. Now, JBB do have a bit of control of this river, but I think they're going to have to concede it. Birds Aren't Real are just too strong right now. It's a bit of a back and forth so far, though. But there's no way JBB feel comfortable starting this Drake, especially you can see Reese's Pieces pushing up in the top lane, doing so much work in terms of pressure on the map, is about to take down that top turret. And yeah, they just have to give up control of the dragon to stop that split push. So this is going to be Soul Point in terms of Birds Aren't Real. And like you said, that Infernal Soul, brutal for Maokai, and just brutal when you've got a fed carry like a Kindred.
Yeah, absolutely. It is very brutal, as Zohair is now on 5 stacks, which is not too different from 4 stacks Kindred, but still is the threat of that looming infinite scaling from Kindred is really scary. As long as this game goes on, I honestly do not know how Joe's Biceps come back into this game, because the outscaling from Birds Aren't Real this time is real. It is very real. Jhin scales monstrously well, and oh, that is, I mean, the Birdman, you can't do that, man. As Kid Corito.
Kid Corito going in, though, trying to get a trade onto Arch, who is a little bit struggling here, but Kid Corito ends up going down as NoCap is the one to show up and help his fellow carry. Arch and NoCap showing that Zohair is not the only damage dealer on the map right now for BAR. 17-6, almost a 10,000 gold lead here coming in at 20 minutes. And yeah, it is very difficult right now for Joe's Big Biceps to get anywhere into this game. Saknut sort of was the shining light of their team at the beginning of this match. Still be able to take out Reese's Pieces in those early fights, but at this point, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be enough, as even Reese's Pieces looks like he is going to go down here. Does manage to use the ultimate. Saknut going for him, knowing that Sylas is out of mana, but he's run out of options. Can't catch up to the Sylas now, so just going to have to back off there. Even then, when it looks like he's going to win a fight, still, JBB aren't able to get anything out of these team fights.
Yeah. Crucially, neither Reese's Pieces or Saknut have heal cut. It's honestly really egregious for neither of them to have it, as both of those champions heavily rely on that. As
Pieces now in the 1v2, looks like he might get taken down here, healing up, and there is the Solar Flare, does get shut down. A 700 gold going over to Saknut, but the Jhin and Leona have arrived. What will they be able to do? Kingsland flashing away, and the double kill for Saknut, and actually Kingsland's going to be, pardon me, NoCap's going to be caught out as well, so a little bit of an overextension, maybe a bit of an ego play there from Birds Aren't Real. They're still well ahead in this game, but those types of catches are what JBB need to find their way back into this game.
yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly what Joe's Big Biceps need, and they're actually going for a Desperation Baron. But is it a Desperation Baron when everyone on the team of Birds Aren't Real are down? The question is, do they know that this is going down? It doesn't look like it. There's double teleports up.
Yeah, teleports are up, but they just don't have a way. So they are, that is it. They are going to get the Baron. Very nice play there. And to get those kills up in the top lane all at once opens up that option for them and gives them a potential pathway back into this game. Now, Dragon spawns in 1 minute 50 seconds. That is going to be the next focus, because if BAR get it, that's Soul for them. The Infernal Soul, changing the shape of the map and changing the damage profile of Birds Aren't Real.
That is a criminal Baron, man. That should never go over to Joe's Big Biceps. Zohair has the ultimate. He can get into the pit, delay the Baron while those 2 double teleports are coming in. But I guess that is just not going to happen as the Birdmang. I think he's just caught here.
Yeah, Zohair has a lot of damage. Kingsline goes in, but actually the Birdmang managed to put out a lot of damage onto the Kindred, who didn't want to pop the ultimate there. Reese's Pieces comes back up for this 1v1, and Kid Kirito's once again there to help. Now, Kid Kirito is able to turn the tides. There's the ultimate steal, but Reese's Pieces can't get anything out of this, and he keeps overextending. It's just not going to work out for you. Sacknut getting closer and closer into this game.
Spot bad. Even in all chat, Reese's Pieces is typing, is it ever enough? I get that you're getting camped, but at some point you got to realize that when you are the only play on the map, you are going to get ganked. It's just how the game works, man. It's a 5v5. Reese's Pieces unfortunately getting taken down again. He has the teleport for this Drake, so he's going to be there for sure. And again, I have to mention that neither top laner again have heal cut. Please, guys, come on, it's so cheap. They really need to get it. But regardless, at this point, this is the game, right? This is the game-ending fight for Birds Aren't Real. If Birds get this Infernal Soul, it is almost 100% their game and their series. As actually, Reese's Pieces coming in with the flank TP.
Go in, like you said, TP, huge shockwave, ult combo goes in, and 3 kills go down. That's the 4th coming in, only Sacknut remaining, and he can't even get close to this fight. Birds Aren't Real answer back in a big way, and they secure the Infernal Soul.
Super solid there. Good team fighting there from the side of Birds Aren't Real. They see the opportunity for the flank, and they see the mispositioned carry on GG Denied. And there's basically just no option for Just Big Biceps in these coordinated 5v5s because of the Shockwave and the Leona engage. Super clean, very well played there. Unfortunately, Just Big Biceps is just not finding the team fight that they wanted. As Sackness here, he might just be getting dove.
Yeah, Sacknut does have some options available to him. Looking for that Haymaker, does get it, and actually Leona goes down, but Zohair has arrived. Look at this damage. Unbelievable. Zohair allowed to free hit on the backline. 2 kills coming in. He pops the ultimate as well. Kid Kirito and Sacknut very low inside. No cap and Arch ready to clean it up. Sacknut gets a lot of healing there, and the flash from GG Denied with the Prowler's Claw takes him down, so at least they stop this push. JBB do a great job, but oh my god, the Shockwave is up again, and that is the end of GG Denied. Amazing work there from Arch to find that opportunity, and even with a team fight win, still Arch manages to find something out of it.
How many times is JBB gonna walk into that Orianna ball just to get absolutely demolished? I don't know, but it's far too much. But still, a very good play for JBB. Yeah. They stall off this fight, and I mean, look, it's a good fight, it's a good victory, but it's not. It's really hard for me to imagine how JBB win this game because of that Infernal Soul, right? It's not like a Baron where, oh, you ace them and suddenly their Baron is gone. This is a permanent buff that Birds Aren't Real are wearing at this point that gives them absurd amounts of damage. And Zohair, like, how much AD does he have right now? Let me check. He has 322 attack damage with 6 stacks. That is brutal. And now, I mean, okay, look, Just Big Biceps' plan right now, stall until Elder and find a Miracle Elder play. That is how they can win this game. The question is, can they survive until then?
And that is exactly the question, and who knows, we have an idea of what the answer might be with the way Birds Aren't Real have been playing. And, you know, Zohair, you mentioned how Kindred is a Feast or Famine champion. Zohair seems to be a Feast or Famine player in this series because he absolutely destroyed JBB the first game, really went quiet the second game, and then came back with a vengeance in the third on this Kindred. Meanwhile, you got Arch, in my opinion, you know, one of, if not the best mid laner in the league, and 7-0 and 8. He's been put on Orianna duty all 3 games, but wow, has he ever made it work in this last one. It's just so nice to watch those shockwaves so perfectly placed, and JBB not able to keep track of the ball, and you know, Arch just punishes them for it so hard every time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very good showcase, honestly, from Arch in pretty much all games. He's been performing very decently. I'd say most likely the most consistent player. Sacknut here, he's just going to use his quick feet to get out of that situation. He didn't even need to use the Stride Breaker.
Flank coming in, though. You can see Kid Corito maybe wanting to go for something, but he doesn't go for it, and instead it's Sacknut locked up at the front. There's the flash from Kingsland to go in. There is the ADCs taking him down. Sacknut. Oh, there's Reese's Pieces having to use the stopwatch, but stole the suplex from the set, and now goes back in. Reese's Pieces has the stopwatch up once more. Going for... I keep saying stopwatch instead of Zanya's Hourglass, but of course it comes to the same thing. With Reese's Pieces doing great work there in the top lane.
Did you see that damage from Arch? Just in a command attack and dissonance onto the Birdman, chunking him out for about 60% of his HP bar. The damage, look at that. That is the tankiest member on their team. He has a wit's end. Yeah, the damage here is absolutely brutal. Arch kind of silently carrying this game, even more than Zohair, in my opinion. These Shockwaves has just been game-winning, and now with triple inhibs down, this is game-winning. Even more than the Soul, triple inhibs is almost always a death sentence, just because you have nothing to do on the map. You cannot get out of your base, or else you just lose the game. And this Baron is most likely going to go towards Birds Aren't Real. It looks like JBB are actually trying to contest this, but I don't know if this is a contestable play, so to speak. We'll have to see if they manage to find an opening here.
We'll see about that. The Baron is up. Dragon, Elder Dragon that is, in a minute. And you can see actually a lot of damage. Zohair gets chunked by GG Denied. Gets that ultimate off, but you got to get those kills. That's a big cooldown used. And so now the 10k gold lead, they go for the Baron. Birds Aren't Real. Willing to somewhat 50-50 this one, and they are going to actually, yeah, let it reset here. They back right off. The teleport comes in from Arch to come in with the support. What do you go for here? Elder Dragon about to spawn, and super minions in all three lanes. So few options right now for JBB.
Yeah, it's so hard, and there is the only wave clear, or a good wave clear, I would say.
Reese is going in. Takes the Volibear ultimate away, looking for a zone control. Zohair, oh my god, over the wall.
What?
4 auto attacks does it. That is ridiculous from Zohair, getting the kill, and that will secure the Baron as well. Birds Aren't Real, ready for that slow and long march over to the Nexus. Oh my god, Arch with the one shot just takes him down. Sacknut did manage to get a kill on the side, and in fact there's a shutdown onto Reese's as well, with Zohair now having to pop the ultimate. Sacknut still doing everything he can, but look at Arch in the base. The kills are going down, but the Nexus is going down as well. Bahu Utot is the last line of defense, and the minions finish it off. Birds Aren't Real are your second finalists for the Canadian Esports Championship Series. And what a series it was. Amazing work coming in from Birds Aren't Real there. You got to give credit to JBB, though. They put up a hell of a fight, especially in game